Hey guys, today I will commentate European Game Diving 2023, and so the referee is gonna let Lauren Salka from filling the starts with her. Here's the screen right behind the board. Just gonna start her competition. With anywhere when I have summers of pike, a little delay. Here's right now, and here's we are. Just a couple of seconds late, no problem with that. See Lauren trying the last reviewing the dive and trying to last part of the dive. She was tending to getting into the water. Grappler, hands diver do that a lot. Review their dives and do the movement they're supposed to do later from the board. Any of the entries they do, it's standing behind the board. That happens often, and here we are, first dive of this first final of the day. A beautiful dive, very strong jump off the board, is slightly too far back, but not that much. Her hips we started, she's not going straight up, a bit too big, a bit behind her dive, and could have been higher. But overall, a great execution. Sevens from the judges, 50.40. 40. She started better than this morning, and now the second I have from Norway is currently Kuka. Same time from her. Most of divers expect for two divers are either starting with or finishing their competition. As the only two they are not doing that are Reed who just start with the back 1.5 and finish with the front 2.5. So much and the other. A good dive, this one as well, and very similar to Lauren. Before her, technically, she's just moved their hip back before the was coming back up. So not as high and not as close as she hoped, and just like Lauren, she scored 50.40. And just like Lauren, she improved the result as from this one. Here's Scott. I was said she's not starting with in white one. I had some pipe, but instead she does the back one. Up huge mistake on this live this morning, just 3 to 5. And that much better this afternoon. She was way over past the vertical line in 3 minutes. This morning she does a good job here, lining it up and getting a nice rip. And the 3 sevens from the judges. 48.30 for her. Now from Norway. Yeah, Tucson. Another one I have to summers like for the biology student from Louisiana State University. It will be does a good job with her first dive. I was saying the third round of the divers, that's when all these 3 other sets are completely the same. Summers, they are all doing it in the third round. I'm double checking that, but yes, I'm right. Goodbye. Pilot, the only thing I noticed that I would have corrected to her is the first part of the press while she's getting to her squat. She stepped forward with 1 foot a little bit too much, so 6.5, 7 for her, and then Leos it's 48 points right now in 4th place. 2022 did a very good job. There's unfortunately for her just finishing a bit short of the podium. Beautiful bike again, once again. Yeah. A beautiful bike again, once again. It's a very good above average, but not very high. So that's the only problem with all this. In one, I have a 6 so far. This is by far the best one. She's getting in front of everyone with 51, 60 points, but all of the divers could have had a bit to take off a higher time overall. So all of them so pretty well with their first dive. And now same dive for Kenya, for Poland. Big round here so for her today. She scored 50 points this morning. That would put her same score as lower and curling before. And another good dive by the Polish divers again, probably 7 for her. Pretty good, very fast in the somersault. Same as the other, it could have been this love, could have been a bit closer. She gets to 50 40 points. A good start for all of these ladies so far. Let's see now, they're talking 3 times. European champion 2017, 2020, and the last year, and she's winning champion. And a very nice dive, much closer from the board compared to the ones that is the diver set a little before her, but again, not very high. She moves her upper body ahead of time. This is perfect. Lineup is very good also. There's type could have gone higher. She wants to get 8, but 7.5 from the judges, 54 points, and she is first place right now. Lennon shall now forward 2.5. 2.6. She will. And she does, most likely. If the better this morning, technically high, very, very high. Perfect somersault. And the entry much cleaner as what she done this morning. Higher total, and it is like that. 58, 50 total of points first dive, and not a, not a bad for her. Michelle, she win a bronze medal in 3 meter. She's 70. She missed both the last 2 dives from 5.5 and 6 last year in this event, and that was what she was always with the top 3 ranked divers in the previous round. Let's see how she does here today. A good dive. You can see compared to ending up, their stalking was the last diver showing us. This dive you can see how Twitter back from the more decent rear back from the board. She's the one getting in the water. There's much more distance between her and her springboard when she gets in the water to 6.5 and 7 start with a higher score today, 49 points for her. Grace with back 1.5 summer pike, the good dive, I think. Let's see. A good dive is once again, now it's a big win. I have some pipe, but once again, lose the other divers that performs the involved, and also like in scope, it's the same type. It is not very close. That's the only problem with this dive. That's why it's not perfect. Other than that's a very good top, strong jump, and a very nice lineup here. 7.5 and 7, not bad for her as well. The first round, and now Italian diver Katabilakani is the winner of the 3 meters event for medal. Event for medals. Here's this fifth event. Let's see how she does. And she starts very well, a very clean entry, probably just a bit short, a bit lower in the takeoff than Grace Street and who does before her. Judges are gonna compare the two, but very, very clean in the water. And in this, she just gets half a point below between Grace. So 49, 45 right now. Second from the judges as well. First got 7 and 777 up, not so big differences. But while we watch the same dive by Emilia Nilsson Gareb, I want to remind you, see, competition 1 meters, I'm gonna be very close, almost at the same knives in the list. So, and Emilia does make it a very tiny mistake on this big one, so she's gonna score less than this afternoon and this morning, and this is what I saw talking about. Little tiny mistakes could cost a lot. 6.5 and half, 7. I mean, they are all very close. They are all within 9 points. So excuse me, no, they are all within 12 points. So very close, all of the 12 divers. But yeah, that was a tiny mistake by my Emilia. For sure, she started within 51 points, and now she at 46. So she has a big advantage in the degree of difficult because of the reverse maps somersault. But on 9 divers of the other 2 are also doing that dive and have the same degree of difficulty. We'll see. And now we started the second round of times, and Lauren and Aliska. Aselka. Same as Emilia right before her, and nice. It is one segment, and once again, no close enough to the board to get 8 and 7.5 for sure. The pipe position is good. Also, the way she came out is not bad. Probably tiny bit too fast, reaching with her hands back. She should have stopped earlier with her hands. So 6.5 and 7 for her. 96.40 after 2 divers and 96.44 to finish diver. Current Cook, who is 5th place after 1 time for return now. Have Summer, so Pike well executed in the air all the movements to spin at the right speed, and there also the shape of the position is very good. You saw how strong she is. She's deep how far from the board 16 and very strong, but 6 and 6.5. Anna Pizzenska now 2.40 degree. This diver is very high, probably a lot of upper body movements when she uncapable board. She's not close, word way or back down. She's also two low points. Yeah, 6.5. 6 and 6.5, 92.9. And now one picks on. We heard a lot of noise when she got back down for the bottom upper body also is clings, so she get trying twice to turn somersault 19, so upper body was clean, 50.70 and 98.70. And now Yetimua. Yetimua, same dive for the German diver. She got 40 points this morning. This was her worst dive in the morning, and once again the diver just leaves the board early. When the board was not at the way up and there's upper body, the upper body movement towards the pipe position is ahead of time. That's why it's quite far from the upper than that. You see how all the scores in the couple of forward to nab somersault that we've seen in the second round. Same dive again, and now it's turning for Kaya from Poland. 48 points from her on their dive, which means 6.5 from the judges. Dive for her 6 is actually, and she's getting more than that. It's once again not very close and not super high, but very clean, and this is more than 6 for sure. A very good job by the Polish diver, and in this round of race, she's the one that is scoring the most points using the direction of the Polish crown. So 54-60 for her on this dive, much better than this morning, and Kaya is first right now at 105 points. And then we're talking now also for her forward to have some hike of the morning, just 44 points on this dive this morning for her good top, and many more here. Beautiful lineup. The youth, the teammates, and the coaches are screaming for her, cheering for her. Very good lines. Well, still clean. She's getting the water, and well, she's very experienced. 187 and 7.5 from the judges to the 54-60 for Ellen, and she's 3 points ahead. Kaya is first now. Let's move on to German Devil, Lena and Chilbeck. 1.5 summer supply for the German Devil. The message this morning was on this dive, see if she can do better than 37 points. better than that. Also, the takeoff is not very high, and neither the somersault is fast enough to probably get 80, but not too bad overall. Perfect timing, reaching back slightly over with her feet in the water. Definitely not fast. 6.5 from the judges, 44.85 on this dive. And yeah, Leonard said better than this morning. Michel Lambert on the springboard for 2.5 somersault. Pike for the Swedish, excuse me, not Swedish. Beautiful, very good of this springboard when she took off her hurdle step back. You saw her feet are not at the tip of the springboard, but she still goes very high. Only thing about not very clean, the entry could have been cleaner. Other divers have had senior entries, but not bad at all. She gets 7.5 from the judges. She's in second place at 107.77 behind, and then the coffee grace now reverse 1.5 summers peak for British diver. She was fourth place at 50.60 after the first round of knives, and slightly over not bad. Timing of the camel is right to little mistakes. She took off with bench knees, not by not, but judges saw that, and also the entry is a bit over notice. The knees, here's pick up the legs ahead of the time, but then here's pulls too far back within the hand, and it's indeed a bit of not a lot, but not good enough for 80 right. Just between 50.8920 and 998 right now. Italian, they were leave forward to a 2.5 summer pike for the European champion on 3 meters. Oh, nice dive, but same as Mikkel Lemberg from Switzerland. She stepped back on the hurdle. You saw how her feet were inside the top of this springboard. Could have done better. Uh, he get a very good lineup. He was the best part of the duel perfectly. Vertical 7 and 7.5, 50 feet. 55 and 90 for the Italian divers, third place. Right now, same dive for a million some. Gary Let's is the winner of this morning prelims. She was in 12th place after the first time and needs 85 to be first. And very good dive. Overall, she's very strong off the board, very quick pushing the board down and gets very high also, but probably just the entry could have been cleaner. She does get a couple of eights, very good. It is a very high scoring dive, just with the perfect entries. This could have scored 9 for sure, almost perfect. 8 from the judges, and she gets 8 from the judges, and his top 3 ranked divers. So now we will see this course. Excuse me, not this course, but this ranking after 2 rounds of dives. Elena Michel in second and Emilian third. But look at it. Between first place and 16th place is just 5 points. Still a long way to go. A lot of times. 3 by each divers left in this competition, and we'll start now the third round of times within the reverse of the half somersault pike by Lawrence Solons, and reminds that fourth diver in this order is the first one, and it's the first one showing as a reverse summers. We'll set more divers, Lena and Chill, and immediately hungry doing that divers in this round. and Lauren, Mr. Lauren is completely huddled, completely over the end with their feet coming down from the hurdle. You see, it here's our toes are hanging out of the spring, and there's causes as they dive go to away too far away in this middle of the pool, and the way shot long average is 7.5 from the judges, and she gets a 136 points. Colin Cookbeck, 1.5 Sam Pike from the Norwegian diver who is about to move to the United States for the school and diving at University of Texas. Just a couple of months, she'll move there. Just our university. She was in 10th place after two divers and same as Lauren, and she does not have a very good takeoff. Lauren, because she was over the end, in this case, it was standing backward, but she swings her back and shoulders uh, back too much and not having enough space, reach back and a good answer. So a bit short in Norwegian diver, and she's at 139.90, and the price means can now is we are gonna have summer pike for her for 4 points in the morning in this dive. Uh, then let's see. And the dive that ended up being vertical, slightly short but very low. She does not help herself with this arm when she's on the porch, completely bends her elbows while circling her arms, and even though it's vertical and clean, judges do this a couple of points because of that 6.5 and 7. 48 total points on this dive and gets he first place right now. Here since the first a very hard dive reverse two, and I have some talk for ellipsis 3 degree of difficulty. Oh, nice, nice, very good. She's very strong on the board. A good squad reaches almost all the way up within their arms on the takeoff, not completely. So she's had, you see it here, she had to pick up. She did a mistake difficulty 6, a good score on this. That's 54 points. She risked it, but it was worth it because she scored 2 points more than reverse one half hike. That's she competed in this morning. Yet Emil now back one and have some supply. Oh, beautiful! And three once again dive that could have gone much higher. She's not the strongest here for sure, so it's normal that her dives are not as high as other divers. She is the tiniest, if she's one of the tiniest, not the tiniest in this competition, but still managed to get perfectly vertical and clean in this water. 7 from the judges in this dive and 148 points put Yeti is second place behind 4 points behind Elson Kaya from Poland now. Same dive for her. Yes, beautiful dive once again by the Polish diver. Very nice. This morning she scored 48.9. Oh, sorry, excuse me, yes, 48 points with this dive, and here think she's gonna go around that score within this dive, probably even more, and 6.5, 7 are the three scores that count for her from the judges, and 153 and 30. Yeah, 48 points, just like this morning. Very good job by the Polish diver. Also, Elena is gonna show us a big one. I have some bike and also adding at this morning got 48 points. She's worth trying to improve that score in this afternoon, and when I show probably improves his performance this morning. The only thing about this dive is that she jumped off the springboard with a bank in his and she kept a little bit bent success somersault. We saw her extended our knees when getting the water, but definitely better this morning. 8, and 7.5 from the judges. 54, 5, and she is first place at 163. Excuse me, 162.65 points. Lena and Shaw now the second reverse, 2.5 Somerset. After competition 58 for her in this morning. Buzzer her she still went very up in her eye very high but very and not very clean. Very high, but the entry is not very clean, very hard getting in the water, and yeah, not as good as the morning. But I gotta say now the big mistake for her. Probably this dive does not give her at much. 54 points is a score on the reverse dive, reverse somersault knife. The other diver can do also with the reverse 1.5. She's risked it. It was not bad. It was solid, but my that is I have not given a huge advantage compared to the ones that are competing. And now Michel Lemberg back when I have some soft pike. Again, once again, just like the forward one, to have some sold by Michelle, it was a good job, very high. I like her way she stands as stayed with her upper body when taking off, but for the third time in a row in her dives, it's just not clean in the water. The line of the arms set hands and arms with the rest of our body is not perfect, so a little bit too many splashes for her. 7.5 at 7.49 for the 49 and 45, and Michelle is at 157.41 and half somersault double twist. It was her best dives this morning and very good. The entry is very she line in water is perfect, very well executed with probably just loose control over feet when finishing the twist. You see here how here the toes are not together. Also when getting the water, not better at all. 54.60 for her on this dive, strength 7 from the judges. 154.40, and she's right years behind Michelle, just 3 points behind Michelle, and one to head Kailash Italian diver. Nice dive, very high, very high. Probably just your feet go a bit too far over when getting the water. Also, the plank position being cleaner, but overall very high, incredible highs. That was the state up in the air for a long time. But yeah, You saw how her legs just slightly over the could have done a better job in entry there, but still there's 3 points behind their teammate for the last 2-5 to that's entry. Kara. And the last reverse turn I have some foul talking with Nelson Garrett. Oh, 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 beautiful top. She actually end up going over incredible speed in their air. But Emilia, very good squeezing. That touch they probably kicked a little bit too far high for that kind of somersault. Not bad at all, and she did not do as good as this morning, where she got 63 points, but she did get an advantage with this high degree of difficulty dive. She gets to up to 165 points, total of 7 points. Oh, excuse me, 8 points advantage on this fourth diver, which is Michelle standing now million. First element, second, and Elena third. Yet, definitely out of these three divers that performed this reverse twist, Emily is one of the sure choosing the right dive because Lena and degree of difficulties are pretty much the same for advantages as there's all the other divers, 1.5, 50 for so on their dives. So now it's even more competition. Degree of difficulties are pretty much the same for all the divers. Now start again. Reverse one defense for Alessandra. Nice, and I got to say, it seems that through the day, Lauren has been struggles with. He was very high. It is still a good dive, 6.5 from the judges. 6 are the scores. The count is just 1.6.5 actually. 180 to 80. Caroline Couple. Caroline Kupka says, excuse me, reverse 1, 2. Somersault play for her once again. Yeah, it's very strong coming down from the hurdle, pressing the board. She steeps the tips of the springboard in the water, but doesn't pick up much speed up also when she somersault. She arches too much and their legs drop short because she's not tight enough in her core on the come out from somersault, and she gets full of 37.20 way too short and below average score for her now on the board is a happy men's cup for 2.5 some pack of pike. Let's see this time she can use her arms better on the board and be more precise with the circular arms because also the whole day all the competition. And not very well executed. Once again, in this case she handled step back. I saw her feet here not on the tip of the springboard. She dives it slowly and so probably 5.5, 16. Actually, even a 7 dramatic, probably the 6.5, and a 7 from the judges. 52 points from an Upman's got in first place at the moment at 193, 90, and it took now reverse 1.5 somersault. Excuse me, my bad. Forward when I had somersault double twist. Not. Let's see. Not a good job by Here she struggled on the hurdle. She was falling off the board forward when she came down and see her toes are over the end, leaning too far forward. She's managed to get very high, but the twist is not completely straight and she lines up in the pike position, does not get straight in the entry. 187.80 for her, and she ends up being behind and up a second place right now. Yeah, team Mueller now reverses some stop ninth place after 3 rounds of dice. Oh, another beautiful entry for Yeti. Very good timing on the board and very nice. I really like this dive. It lined up. It lined up correctly. Once again, she dives very well. Probably just tiny bit over. A very good job. Once 8 and 8.5, just because slightly over 7.5 for the her 54 points. That's what I was telling you about her teammate Lena. She performed the reversion of Summer's Altelk and scored exactly the same as her as yet, but much more risk for Lena on the reverse and have sometimes was gone. Now she's 40-54. Let's move on to Kaya from Poland. Same dive from her reverse. Once have some bike and she needs 7 to be in first head of Yeti. I'm not going to get the 7th here. Way over the end with their feet. Too far forward. The whole dive just moves too far forward. Still does a good job. And the air getting a tight bike but end up being far and but short. So 6.5, maybe 5.5 also. Yes. 6.5, 6, and there scores that count for her. A little disagreement by the judges on this dive. Once gave 5.5. Another, but not a huge mistake after all for Kaya, and she's in the second place right now. And number Turkish dive for the 2024 European champion. And a huge mistake for one of the time we see disappointment for Team Italy. A huge mistake for one of divers that was trying to get gold here. You saw her feet completely in the corner and over the end, way too short. This is not gonna score very high. Yeah, 5.5 for so the reaction of her coach Oskan and only 36 points for the time divers 198 total points for Helena. Next up Lena and Chillers. One asks Summer. So 1, 2, twist. And also Lena, we saw Crystal Bomb and not very happy with this performing of her divers. The top part was very good. Here's the only thing, she started to twist when she is still on the board and causes the dive to lean on the side. She's not perfectly vertical, also a bit over and between the two boards, so judges do the deduct a few points because of that. 6 is 1-7. There's argument on these divers as well. The judges give 6 and the other 7.5. Yes. So not perfect. 49 points for Lena. She's still in first spot. Lost a few points. This compares to the average rivers. Once I have Summers of Pike for Michelle Amber. Oh, much better than what she did last year in Rome. That was the dive she missed. very high. Look at her upper body does not swing back at all, and that's why it falls vertical. Once again, the line she's entry over arms and hands are not. Uh, it's 9.5. 57.64 Michelle, and a very excellent result on this dive. She skates 8 ahead of Lena, and she's moment. We just one dive left, and we're one half summer of pipe for Chris Watt, who needs 8.5 to get ahead of Michelle Lemberg and 7.5 to get ahead of Lena. She'd get 7.5, think probably not high enough to get 8.5. She should have gone higher. She's needed a stronger jump. You saw it with her getting ahead of time with pick positions. That's all mistake. It's a very nice pike position and a good entry and an average of 7.5. I thought given a total of 54 points on this diver, 208.40, and she's 2 points on Lena. 6 points behind Michelle. Yeah, 1.5 twist Italian divers from Rome. Just very splashy in the water, but overall not a clean entry. Here again, just like a previous dive, Kara does it. Overall good job. This dive puts her vertical is nice, splashy and splashy in the water. Overall a good job. It puts her right now in second place. That's a total of 210.35. But that's all very close, very close. But reverse 1.5, somersault 1.5 for Million Nilsson Gerd. She was leading. And nice, very nice. The hurdle ended up being a little bit too far forward. Her feet are, her toes are overall the end, but still manages to get very high. And same as a Kiara at the entry is not the cleanest as possible. So not bad, but could have done better on this one. She's still way ahead of everyone else now after this port run of dives at 202, 21.50, 7 points ahead of second place Michelle Emberg. We have this standing before the last round of dives now on screen. A million Nielsen grabs 221.50, Michelle Emberg 240.75, and South Carolina County Kenneth 210.35. But look how close all these are. There are 8 points between second place and fifth place. So for the podium, anything can still happen. And checking at the list of the divers, checking the list of the divers. The last 5 divers diving that are also the top 5 divers in the ranking. The clear advantage is for Michelle and Grace. Just on the degree of difficulty stands at that point of view, because the other is that involve have some somersault pike, while Michelle has the reverse twisted and Grace and the forward 2.5 somersault pike. We saw the last driver Lauren and Serka. It was a high, way high and nice in the entry, probably once again not purple on the hurdle and a bit too far forward, 50-70. For her, and she closed at the 233.50. Colin Cope Canal reverse 1.5 somersault and a half twist for the Norwegian diver who is 12th place before. I meant after the front round of knife. Wow, she did a very good job recovering. Look at her feet completely over the end and into the water. She still got as high as possible and vertical. Very good job recovering from that spot on the board. And she gets, let's see, sixes from the judges and a total score of 223.90 for the Norwegian divers. On the paceman canal for one somersault double twist. Say double twist for her. Way too far forward since the very beginning of the hurdle. Her shoulders are leaning forward. She doesn't move her arms behind her at all. This cannot score very high. Too many mistakes on the board for Anna, who actually ends up doing a perfect entry, but way too far away, and she disappointed with that 5.5 from the judges, and the closest to 36.80. Olympics and now back one of the somersault pike. Pike to the back one. Summer pike for finisher. It's not bad, probably. She was very, very close. Too bad. To finish her list, not bad, probably a bit too far away from the springboard. So 6.5 from the judges. And Elegance up in third place at this moment at 232.65. Jetta Miller, she was in sixth place, a bit for your back, since their top five divers. Check what just 4 points behind her team that could still have a chance if things don't go right for the other divers. A chance for metals, obviously, and struggles here on the hurdle. Not very strong off the board and what far away, so not excellent, not an excellent execution on this dive for her. She's most likely not gonna repeat the port place that she got last year in Rome 6 from the judges. A total score of 248.80 put yet in first place at the moment, waiting for the other. Kaya now. Kaya needs sevens to get ahead of yet with this time back. Once I have some thought, 1.5 twist off. Very nice, excellent job by the Polish diver. Not very high, but she's very fast, both in the somersault and this twist. She gets perfectly vertical and clean entry and 6. Yeah, score is 6.5 and just 1.7. It's not enough for her to get ahead for Yeti. Just 1 point behind the German in second place right now. Representing Italy and then after Tenki. Huge mistake for her on the previous round. She needs a 6.5 and already ahead of a Yeti. Probably that won't be enough to repeat because European champion. and a great dive. Unfortunately, fourth round of dive for her. This mistake on the handle of the reverse on. I have some salt closer a lot. She was very high here on both the board and nice lineup and the end three closes at 250.65 and she's in the first at the moment needs to wait for the other five divers and diving and we started the first fight for medals now with Lena and Shell inward 1.5 summers of bike. Beautiful, beautiful dive. Probably the only things about this dive is that it's not very fast and the somersault, but the distance is perfect. The movement are correct and also the lineup is cleaning up. Put the handle flatter on the water, did not grab very well, probably her hands, but excellent job by laying out her last dive 7.5 total of 54 points on this dive and she gets out of laughter talking to everyone else and 260.75 and now we have on the board Michelle Amberg reverse one have some result and half twist for her beautiful. Her beautiful diamond she does not repeat the mistakes of last year in Rome again. The handle is a bit too far back and a bit too far back on the board, but she goes very high and finally goes very clean and she's also on this dive 7.5 from the judges and Michelle Amberg set the bar from gold at 273.25. First place for her as it's right now. And now Grace. Very straightforward to have some for spike for the British driver. Oh, amazing entry, very clean. This is gonna score very high. She needed 8.5 to be ahead of Michelle Amberg. Don't know if she is 8.5, but this guy was strong and high and was especially very clean in this entry 7.5 from the judges. Oh, she ends up being second right now behind Michelle Amberg and at 266.90. Caterpillar Cali now. Very hard for Kara. It's very hard situation. She is not in a bad spot. She can do it 9 to win to get in front of Michelle and 8 to be ahead of Grace. It's hard. She can do it very good. Oh, very good job. Let's see what the judges think. The times is not extremely high, but it's very precise. The technique, arm swing is perfect, legs are perfectly straight and together, and a clean entry for the Kyla. Let's see what the judges think. 7. I think 7 will be great. 7.5 from the judges. Forget up like any, and she's third place behind Great Street right now, waiting for the last dive of Miller and Linson, who's only needs sixes and a dive to get the podium, and the 7.5 from the judge to win. And once again, another competition that is decided on the very last dive. And here is it. Here is the new. Oh, well, let's see what the judges think. First is the diving squad is probably just a little bit short. Let's see, she's quite an advantage. Oh, 7 from the judges. Wow, not the 7, and not the 7.5 that she needed. Oh my god. Dramatic pull right now at the last dive. Michelle Lambert takes the lead on the last round of dives and wins by just 0.15 points for 50 cents of a point. Incredible. And to the 1 meter women final, you said here's on screen. Michelle is new European champion. You can screen all very close. And Michelle on the last round of dive takes the lead and wins gold. Here is Shesho. Well, that was exciting once again. It's the last dive. Wow.